Welcome you all to the Sunday Bhagavad Gita classes. So we are in the chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, and chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita is also known as
Karma Yoga.
Karma Yoga. So initially we saw Arjuna was reluctant to fight due to material reasons. He was thinking about his own enjoyment, on compassion, on fear of sinful activity, on destruction of family traditions. He was reluctant to fight. But after hearing the knowledge of Gita from Krishna, the second chapter is the summary of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has precisely given all the topics of Bhagavad Gita in the second chapter itself. In spite of hearing this knowledge of Gita from Krishna, Arjuna was still confused about fighting. So, why did the confusion arise for Arjuna here? What made Arjuna confused? After hearing Gita, Arjuna should have got some clarity, right? But what made Arjuna very confused in spite of that?
Because he thought if to follow Dharma, why should he? Krishna can take care of not fighting. Why should he still fight?
So there is a link, right, from the second chapter to third chapter. I said one of the sloka, which is a link. What is that sloka? Durena hevaram karma buddhi yoga
Karma.
dhananjaya. Buddhau sharanam anvicha kripana phala hetava. So when Krishna said, Durena hevaram karma, keep all the abominable activities away and engage in buddhi yoga. Those persons who are just doing something for the result, they are nothing but the misers. So Arjuna thought, so I am fighting this war so that we get the kingdom. So there is some reason for them to fight. Arjuna thought because Duryodhana was already ruling the kingdom and he was ruling properly. He did not do anything bad to the people. Just that only thing is they were not the rightful heir of the kingdom. And Duryodhana, the only problem with Duryodhana was he was so much attached to the kingdom and to ruling. But other than that, he was not against Krishna or he was not really against Pandavas or anyone. But they who are the rightful heir? The Pandavas.
Pandavas.
And even though they just asked for 5 villages because they are Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas, they need something to administer. So did they give? They did not
No.
give. What did Duryodhana said? I will not even give a piece of land that occupies the tip of the
God.
needle. So therefore, it was a duty for the Pandavas to fight this war because as a Kshatriya, they need to live a life of administration, right? Not just working as doing some business or acting like a Brahmana or doing some Shudra work. It doesn't help. They were not even Kshatriya from birth and they were also Kshatriya in their guna. So Arjuna was the very best archer. So it was important for Arjuna to perform his duty. But Arjuna misunderstood, thinking that when war, what happens in the war? It is very ghastly. So much of bloodshed. So many people lose their life, right? So he thought that this is such an abominable activity. So why should I do such an abominable activity? As instructed by Krishna in the second chapter, Durena Hevaram Karma, keep away all the abominable activities. So let me just engage in Krishna consciousness. So this is also a kind of Galat family. We say, na? They think that if somebody is a devotee, they are in inertia. They don't do any work. They just sit and they chant and they do not have any kind of the responsibility. So people are greatly misunderstood. Even in the West, they think that, when the brahmacharis, when they are staying in the temple and they are doing the seva and they are doing the preaching, the people think that, what do you do for work? You do not do anything for work. You're just simply sitting, but they do not know that they are also working for Krishna. They are working for Krishna consciousness. But if you see a life of brahmachari in the temple, their life starts at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and ends at 9, 9:30, very actively. Each and every moment they are engaged in some services.
Krishna conscious.
From morning 4:30 to 9 o'clock, Mangalarti, followed by 2 hours of chanting, followed by Guru Puja, followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class, followed by Prashadam. So 4:30 to 9:30, almost 5 hours, they have completely involved in Krishna conscious activity. After that, each and everybody is taken some responsibility. Some of them are cooking, some of them are doing some administration, some of them are going out for preaching, some of them are doing some accounting. So there are so many activities in Krishna consciousness, right? Then a little bit of rest. Then evening, again, we have Tulsi Aarti, Gaura Puja, and Gaura Aarti, followed by Bhagavad-Gita class. And Prabhupada has given us the instruction to read Krishna book before going to bed. So we start with Bhagavatam in the morning class, and in the evening it is Bhagavad Gita, and before going to bed it is the Krishna book. So this is a complete package it is given. So where is the question of inertia? Where is the question of not doing anything? But this is a general misunderstanding of the people also. So, and then now Arjuna is asking Krishna, Krishna, you have given such an equivocal instruction. You said do the work. Sometimes you say do the Ashtanga yoga. Sometimes you do Bhakti yoga. So Arjuna thought that they are all different path. He did not know that everything is the same path. They are the same path of the yoga ladder. So Arjuna is confused. You say, just give me one instruction. Don't give me equivocal instruction. You can do this or you can do this. So then, it becomes little confusing, right? What to do? Like suppose you're asking somebody, your family members, what should I cook? They say you cook this or you cook that, then you get confused, right? You tell me what you want to cook. Today, should we cook some traditional items? Or today, should we cook something, that is, more like relishable, like pasta, paneer, or should we make something? Then you get confused, right? Please tell me one thing. Don't say anything is okay, right? So Arjuna got little confused. And then Krishna is clarifying the whatever the subject matter is spoken in the second chapter. He is further clarifying. Lokesmin dvibida nishta pura prokta mayanaka. There are two types of people. One type of people try to acquire knowledge, and through knowledge, they would like to realize Krishna. And there is another type of people who, through devotion, they want to obtain Krishna. But both of them, the path is the same. It is not different. Somebody analytically wants to understand Krishna through knowledge. Somebody wants to accept Krishna as a supreme Lord and wanted to serve. But the ultimate goal is Krishna. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. In the seventh chapter, Krishna says, after many, many lifetimes, jnanavan, the one with the knowledge, obtains me. What the knowledge he gets? Vasudeva sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everything. And sa mahatma su durlabha. Such a soul is very rare. So jnani, although it is in the same path, but the problem is it takes a lot of time for a jnani to come to the stage of self-realization, to know that Vasudeva is everything. And in Kali Yuga, considering the lifespan we have, how many years we all live, average years today? 70, 80? If feeling that's a good life. So within this lifetime, we need to study, we need to work, we need to take care of the family. We have so many responsibilities. How can we get into the path? Like Gyanis, they go 90, not this, not this, not this, not this, and then finally they come to the conclusion. So it's a very difficult path. Almost the path is the same, it is not different. But Prabhupada clarifies in the purport that devotional service to Krishna is a much practical and easier way, especially in Kali Yuga. And another concept which Prabhupada gave in the purport is very beautiful thing. Philosophy without religion is a speculation, and religion without philosophy is a fanatism. You just say, I am religious, and you do not have any philosophy. Then they think you're a fanatic, right? There should be a philosophy. Now we are chanting because we know the philosophy. What is the philosophy? That Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Jivere Swarupo Hoi Krishnera Nityadas. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. We are his eternal servant. What is the duty of a servant? The duty of the servant is to serve the master.
Mm.
Therefore, we are chanting. It is just not any kind of a, just, it is not a religious activity. We have a philosophy why we are chanting. We have a philosophy why we are offering bhoga to Krishna and having prasadam. We have philosophy why we are reading the Shastras, right? We don't have any philosophy. We are just doing Mahamantra. If somebody is asking why you are doing that, then you will not know what to do. Then you may also think, right? Maybe I'm just doing something out of my own mind. At the same time, uh, religion without philosophy is fanaticism, and philosophy without religion is a speculation. You will be keep on speculating this one, that one, but you will never get into the right thing. So they both go hand in hand. Religion and philosophy, they go hand in hand. Therefore, it is necessary for us to understand the Shastras. While chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself can deliver us in this Kali Yuga, but when we are philosophically strong, we can chant with greater vigor and with greater faith in whatever we are doing. And then, because there are 4 parts in this chapter, what is that? What is the acronym of this chapter? TREE. T stands for Tyaga. So
Yaga.
Arjuna is mainly talking about Tyaga. He says that when when doing abominable activity is not permitted by Krishna and doing Buddhi Yoga, so Arjuna think that let me become a Tyagi. Let me become a sannyasi. And Krishna has not approved that sannyasa because he said that mere renunciation alone cannot obtain one from perfection. Because before getting to this sannyasa path, one has to get purification. You cannot just become sannyasi just like that. Sannyasa is which order of the life? It is the 4th order of the life. Brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. How can one suddenly can become a sannyasa? So without purification, if somebody becomes a sannyasa, then that would be a disturbance in the society. We see so many people in India, especially wearing saffron cloth. You know, they became sannyasis and they had so many followers. And especially when they have so many women followers, they all fallen in the clutches. We have heard so many of them, right? Who are in the scandal because they all became a premature sannyasi.
Sannyasi.
So for that, better remain in your position. Do your prescribed duty, remain in your position, and be Krishna conscious. That is better rather than becoming a sannyasi. Because if you become sannyasi prematurely without purification, then that will not allow you to become perfect. Okay. So, because we all have our own qualities, right? According to our qualities, we all have to work. There are 3 modes of nature: Sattva guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So the Varnashrama system is based on our own quality. The jivas who are in the Sattva Guna, they have Brahminical nature and they do Brahminical activity. The jivas who are in the mix of Sattva Guna and Rajoguna, they do the administrative work. And those who are in the mix of passion and ignorance, they do the mercantile community, Vaishya community. And those who are in the ignorance, they do Shudra. So Varnashrama system is a beautiful system given by Krishna for purification, no matter which, whatever guna we are, be in that guna and work there and then gradually become purified. So Varnashrama system itself is a purifying system. So actually speaking, our Vedic culture is not Hinduism. There's nothing called Hinduism. It is the Sanatana Dharma. It is a Varnashrama culture. That's all. These 4 Varnas and 4 Ashrama, it is applicable to any part of the world, to every society. We have teaching class, we have administrative class, we have mercantile class, and we have labor class, right? So everybody can apply that. Be in your own position and do your duty and get purified. That is what Krishna is suggesting Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna is thinking of giving up fighting on the grounds of thinking that it is an
Passion.
abominable activity. war is an abhor. So rather I will get myself into Krishna consciousness. I will renounce. So that renunciation, Krishna is not approving to Arjuna. So further, these are more topics. So we have till sloka number 9 on renunciation. So today's sloka, let's see what Krishna is talking more on renunciation. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 6. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
ययास्ते मनसः स्मरान्
ययास्ते मनसा स्मरान्
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
ययास्ते मनसा स्मरन्
ययास्ते मनसा स्मरन्
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
ययास्ते मनसः स्मरान्
यस्ते मनसा स्मरान्
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
Would like to recite this? Anybody, please? Yeah, please. Please.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 6. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य
यस्ते मनसा स्मरान्
यास्ते मनसा स्मरन्
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमुद्धात्मा
इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
मिथ्याचार स उच्यते
कर्म इंद्रियाणि the five working sense organs samyayam controlling here anyone who aste means manasa by the mind smaran thinking of indriya arthan sense objects vimudha foolish atma soul mityachara pretender the he uchyate is called. Translation: one who restrains the senses of action, but whose mind dwells on the sense object certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
Thank you, Mataji. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namini. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Karmendriyani Samyamya. So, we have 5 working senses and 5 knowledge acquiring senses. So, what are the 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses? Knowledge acquiring senses is our eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and touch. These are all our touch. These are the knowledge acquiring. By touching something, we get the knowledge. And what are our karmendriyani, working senses?
Hands, legs.
Yeah. We have hands, we have legs, and our genitals, and these are all our working senses. So just by restraining the working senses, people, karmendriyani samyamya yayaste manasasparan. Externally, they are trying to, restrict their senses and manasasmaran. But what is their mind dwelling on? Manasasparan. Indriyarthan vimudatma. The mind is thinking about how to enjoy the senses. Externally, they are pretending, as though their senses are controlled and they are doing meditation. They are completely under the control of the senses. But what about the mind? The mind is thinking about how do I enjoy my
Enjoy.
senses. The
Senses.
mind is dwelling on sense gratification. And mityachara sa urshyate. Such a person is called as mityachara, is called as pretender. So Krishna is not happy with the
Approving it.
pretender.
Yeah.
But because Krishna is very, very merciful. If we are sincere, Krishna can do anything for us. But if a person is a pretender, because he is a Paramatma in our heart, Krishna is dwelling within our heart. Can't Krishna knows what we are thinking?
Yeah.
It's not just by our actions. He also knows our thoughts. He knows what is going on in our minds.
Mind.
So the mind is dwelling on sense object, but externally you are trying to restrain your senses.
Sense.
Like Vishwamitra Muni. Initially,
Mm.
from a king, he wanted to become a yogi. So he took the process of Ashtanga Yoga. He tried to externally control his senses. He was meditating. But as soon as Indra sent Menaka, she was dancing and that anklet bells just by hearing that bell. Because why do they close their eyes, the rishis? Because they think if they see something, they will get
Outside
into
they'll get
Maya. But just even then, because that proclivity is there, just hearing a little bit of the anklets out of Menaka, he got
get
distracted
distracted.
and he embraced her, and then he had a daughter with her, Shakuntala. So this is, and we also know the Shaubari Muni. He thought that if I am living in the outside world, there is a lot of Maya. So with his yogic power, he went underwater because he thought there is nobody to distract there. But in spite of that, what did he see? He saw two fish copulating with each other. Seeing that, his mind got agitated. He came out and he married 50 daughters of the king. So we see that how, even though the senses are, externally trying to be controlled, but the mind is dwelling on the sense object, on how to gratify my senses.
Senses.
Okay. So let us go through the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, please go ahead.
Purport. There are many pretenders who refuse to work in Krishna consciousness but make a show of meditation while actually dwelling within the mind upon sense enjoyment. Such pretenders may also speak on the dry philosophy in order to bluff sophisticated followers, but according to this verse, these are the greatest cheaters.
Yes, Mother. So,
Okay?
who is a pretender? We are going step by step. So, they are not in Krishna consciousness and they just make a show of meditation. They also talk some philosophy, some dry philosophy, to make people, to attract people because you have to talk something, right? They just talk today. There are so many, so called sadhus and so called great, great personality who have great followers today, and they have not even read Bhagavad Gita. They have outrightly said that, I have not read Bhagavad Gita at all. So, due to some yogic power, due to some mystic power, they got uh, some power, by which they can attract people. They have some knowledge. And using that knowledge, what are they trying to do? They
Each.
are just trying to enjoy their senses. Externally, they are giving something. It looks like, they are doing something great to the society, but internally, they are enjoying their senses. And I heard that that person, if he is uh, called for a marriage to be a dignity, how much he charges? He only stays in a seven-star hotel, that so-called sadhu. If you want him to, be a part of the marriage, because the great people, when there's a marriage of the son or daughter, they feel great, having great sadhus or everything. So is this not a sense enjoyment? And we also know there are professional Bhagavatam reciter. Bhagavatam is to serve Krishna. And using the knowledge of Bhagavatam to earn the livelihood, that is also condemned by Krishna. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavata has to be served. How can you take Bhagavata into service and you earn money? That means Bhagavata went to service. Like I have some education qualification. So my education qualification became a source for my income. So if
Hmm.
somebody is a professional Bhagavatam reciter earning money out of that, that means you're involve Bhagavatam in the seva. So these are certain things which are not approved. Okay, because such a people, if you're so much this thing on Krishna, why do you want to charge so much to recite Bhagavatam? And what do we do with that money, right? So these are all the pretenders. What is better than pretending?
Just enjoy and move on instead of, yeah.
Yeah.
For sense enjoyment, one can. Ma'am, you have a presentation, Mataji?
Yes, I'm not, it is not shared.
I
Oh,
was also
sorry,
wondering why
sorry.
I'm reading from the book.
Okay, sorry, sorry.
No problem, Mataji.
I think I did not share the screen. I thought I was
Yeah.
sharing the screen.
No.
I
I
did.
should have asked in the start. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay, Mataji. Now there is a screen. Yeah.
What is better than pretending? For sense enjoyment, one can act in any capacity of the social order, but if one follows the rules and regulations of his particular status, he can make gradual progress in purifying his existence.
So for sense enjoyment, you can be in any order. You don't have to become a sannyasi. Why should somebody has to become sannyasi to enjoy the senses, right? You can be a grahastha. You can be in any social order. Not necessary. Why do you have to become a sannyasi? But if one follows the rules and regulations of the particular status, whatever ashramam we are, whether we are in brahmachari ashram, follow the rules and regulation of that particular ashram. If we are in grahastha, follow the rules and regulation of that particular ashram. Vanaprastha, do that. Sannyasi, do that. So by acting in our own status, wherever we are, in our own position, we can get gradually purified. That is why sannyasa is the fourth order of the society. It is not the first order because renunciation does not come so easily. Renunciation comes after purification, right? So the entire varnashrama dharma itself is purifying.
Terrific.
Okay, it's a purificatory process given by Krishna to us. But in Kali Yuga, it is very difficult for us to follow. Therefore, we are taking shelter of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is purifying. But that doesn't mean that we should not act in our Varna and Ashrama. There may be some discrepancies for us to act in that, but by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, no matter whatever Varna and Ashrama we are, by being Krishna conscious, by keeping Krishna in the center. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. In Bhagavatam, Krishna has said that whatever ashram you are, every ashram, what should be the goal? Haritoshanam. The Hari should be
In
satisfied.
the center.
That should be the goal of any Varna or any ashrama.
Why such a person is called a cheater? But he who makes a show of being a yogi while actually searching for the objects of sense gratification must be called the greatest cheater, even though he sometimes speaks of philosophy. His knowledge has no value because the effects of such a sinful man's knowledge are taken away by the illusory energy of the Lord.
So they may talk a great philosophy. They may give a very good talk. You may feel so attractive. This person is so knowledgeable. He's giving such a nice Krishna Katha or he's giving such a great philosophy. But that knowledge is of no use. Therefore, it is very important from whom we hear. That's why we need to hear properly from parampara, coming from the disciplinic succession. Because by hearing from anyone and everyone, you may feel that you are in spiritual path and you're advancing. But if you're hearing from a person who is in sense gratification, who is a cheater, then where do you progress?
We also will go on that.
Yeah, we may go. So this can happen anywhere, even in Krishna conscious society. When the people, today there are people who are using this Krishna consciousness to cheat people because their mind is not purified. So they are taking this shastras by giving classes and by giving anything. There are some, one Prabhuji recently, by giving several classes, he associated with so many women. He married and somebody knew and they did. So this is all very important because it's very important to know from whom we hear. If we are hearing from the greatest cheater, then what happens? Then such a knowledge is of no use.
No use.
Okay. Yes, Mataji?
His external renunciation is enough. Such a pretender's mind is always impure, and therefore his show of yogic meditation has no value whatsoever.
So it is just a show. Because the mind, when the mind is impure, whatever show externally, he seems to be, controlling all his senses, but it is just a show, and such a show has no value at all. So, internal purification is more important than just the external renunciation. So, the Gita lessons from this sloka is external control is not enough. The mind must be purified. Just externally doing things alone cannot help us. Hypocrisy blocks spiritual growth. Pretending leads nowhere. Accept your position. Know wherever you are and progress from that. Sincerity is more important than show. Honest effort is valued more than external appearance. And don't imitate advanced stages. Like Haridas Thakura, he could chant 192 rounds. Prabhupada said the disciples, don't try to imitate. Not everybody can chant like Haridas Thakura sitting in one place for 192 rounds. Therefore, he involved the devotees in various sevas, doing 16 rounds, participating in the arti, listening to the kathas, and doing some service to Krishna. Therefore, the people get purified at a different level. We should not try to imitate any advanced devotees ourselves. So it is a gradual purification. It happens step by step. Real control must happen internally. Follow your position and purify gradually. Let it be a gradual process. Therefore, it will become steady and you will advance in spiritual path rather than just trying to imitate others. Okay. And practical tips is be honest about your level. Don't imitate renounced life artificially. Engage your mind in Krishna with hearing, chanting, remembering. That is very important. Always Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam. This Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam is very important.
ये
First,
मजा बच्चा
very sincerely and focus on internal purification, not external image. Don't show yourself as a devotee just by wearing kanti and tilak. We cannot become a devotee. Rather than think about how we can purify ourselves internally, how our mind can be purified ourselves. Okay. Any questions from this sloka? Can we move to the next one?
जी माताजी.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, text 7. Yasvendriyani manasa
यस्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा
नियम्याराभतेऽर्जुन
नियम्याराभतेऽर्जुन
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
असक्त स विशिष्यते
असक्तः स विशिष्यते.
यस्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा
यस्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा
नियम्याराभतेऽर्जुन
नियम्याराभतेऽर्जुन
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
असक्त स विशिष्यते
असक्तः स विशिष्यते.
यस्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा
यस्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा
नियम्याराभतेऽर्जुन
नियम्याराभतेऽर्जुन
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
कर्मेन्द्रियै कर्मयोगम्
असक्त स विशिष्यते.
असक्तः स विशिष्यते.
Who wants to do this?
I'll do Mataji.
Okay, please.
Yasvat Indriyani Manasa
Yasvendriyani
यस्वेन्द्रियाणि मनसा
manasa
Niyam Yarbhate Arjuna
niyamyarabhate
अर्जुन
Dharmena Indriyehi Karma Yogam
कर्मेन्द्रियै
कर्मेन्द्रिय कर्मयोगम्
Asaktah Sa Vishiyate
asakta sa vishishyate.
विष्यते.
Yah one who two but Indriyani the senses Manasa by the mind niyamya regulating arbhate the begins Arjun O Arjuna karma indriya Indriyaya, by the active sense organs, Karma Yogam, devotion, Asaktaha, without attachment, Saha, he, Vishayate, is by far the better. On the other hand, if a sincere person tries to control the active senses by the mind and begins karma yoga in Krishna consciousness without attachment, he is by far superior.
So here Krishna is comparing a sannyasi who is a premature renouncer, who is not purified and causing disturbance in the society and being a pretender. Being a renouncer, it is better than be in whatever position you are. Whatever varna and ashrama you are, be in that position and perform karma yoga. What is karma yoga means? Working in Krishna
Krishna consciousness.
consciousness without attachment. So do everything, lead a Krishna centric life. Whatever activities we do, let's keep Krishna in the center. By doing such a work, he is far superior. In the sense, Krishna says, wherever position we are, whatever position we are, be in that position. You need not have to change your position. But just be Krishna conscious, whether you're a brahmachari, whether you're a grahastha, whether you're your vanaprastha, whether you're a sannyasi. We should be Krishna conscious by performing our duty. Then what happens? Then the mind will automatically get into control. Otherwise, artificially, it is very difficult to restrain our mind and senses. But by engaging our mind and senses in Krishna consciousness, then our senses and mind gets purified. That's what we saw. Sarva upadi vinirmukta tat paratvena nirmala rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. By serving Rishikesha, the master of senses, then automatically what happens? Sarva upadi vinirmuktam. We come out of all kind of upadi. I am an Indian, I am a woman, I am a chartered accountant, I am a doctor, I am this, that, everything. Tat paratvena nirmala. And our senses get automatically purified. How? By serving Krishna's senses. We cannot artificially restrain our senses, but by doubtailing our senses, by serving the senses of Krishna. Here also we have sense gratification in Krishna consciousness. We dance, we sing, we eat prashadam. But that kind of sense gratification is what kind of gratification? It is all centered with Krishna.
Krishna.
You're dancing for Krishna, you're singing for Krishna, you're eating the Krishna Prasadam. Here also there is sense gratification. We are not yogis. It's not that we eat only 1 grain of rice a day and we live by breathing. We are eating, we are doing all our activities, but our activities is centered in Krishna. And that stage is far superior than an artificial renuncer. We see many people when they come into the preaching or when they are in the renounced order, when they put the sannyasi garb, not necessarily the day one itself, they come with the thought of, cheating others. But because they are prematurely renounced, they cannot control the snare of Maya. When they get so many followers, when they get so many women and everything, then what happens? Their mind gets contaminated. Contamination means contamination of enjoying the senses. The main contamination, what do we have? Each and every living entity is trying to gratify our senses.
Senses.
So there is so many opportunities for such a person now because so many followers are there. Whatever you say, they are listening. Then the person falls down. Rather, without becoming completely Krishna conscious, one cannot become a sannyasi. Right? Even in ISKCON, if when a brahmachari becomes a sannyasa, immediately the brahmachari does not become a sannyasa. He is watched for so much of time and his behavior and everything is observed for a long period of time. And when it's known that such a person is a Goswami, he is completely controlling his senses, then he is awarded with sannyasa order. Otherwise, not everybody can become a sannyasa, right? So, Mataji, continue.
Who is better according to this verse? Instead of becoming a pseudo transcendentalist for the sake of wanton living and sense enjoyment, it is far better to remain in one's own business and execute the purpose of life, which is to get free from material bondage and enter into the kingdom of God.
So that's very important. Whatever we are, whatever position we can become Krishna conscious. That will help us to come out of the material bondage and enter the kingdom of the Lord. Don't try to become a pseudo transcendentalist. Be real. Work in your own position. Okay.
What is the real goal of life? The prime Swarthag-
Swarthagati.
Swarthagati,
Swarthagati.
Swarthagati or goal of self-interest is to reach Vishnu. The whole institution of Varna and Ashrama is designed to help us reach this goal of life.
So the what should be our self-interest is to reach Vishnu. Samsiddhir Haritoshana, whatever Varna and Ashrama, not nonam pramatta kurute. We should not be so eager to satisfy our senses. Rather, we should be eager to satisfy Krishna's senses. And by following the proper ashrama, Varna and Ashrama system, that will help us to reach the real goal of life. Real goal of life is what?
To reach
Serve
Vishnu.
Krishna.
To go back home, back to
Back to
Godhead,
Godhead.
from
Godhead.
where we all belong to. That's why it is not that go home, go back home, which means we were there already. Somehow or the other, we've fallen down. So we have to go back to the place where we are all from. Yes, Madhu.
Can a Grahastha householder attain liberation? A householder can also reach this destination by regulated service in Krishna consciousness. For self realization, one can live a controlled life as prescribed in the Shastras and continue carrying out his business without attachment and in that way make progress.
So it's okay to be in Grahastha, to be with the family, but lead a life, a Krishna conscious life. Don't work for satisfying your senses. Don't be overly attached on increasing your wealth or increasing your property or increasing your status. So we work so that we can keep our body and soul together, so that we can take a basic care of our life. But over endeavoring for increasing our status, increasing our position is not really needed, because if we are over enduring for material accumulation, then will we have time for Krishna consciousness?
Mm.
No.
No.
So we should work to the extent to keep our body and soul together to meet our requirements, but the goal of our life is to satisfy Krishna and to work in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So a householder can also become Krishna conscious and can go back home, back to Godhead. Not necessarily that everybody who has taken Krishna conscious, they have to renounce everything, leave the home, leave the family, everything, and go and stay in a temple or go and stay in Himalayas and Rishikesh and do chanting. Right?
Sincerity versus pretension. A sincere person who follows this method is far better situated than the false pretender who adopts show bottle spiritualism to cheat the innocent public. A sincere sweeper in the street is far better than the charla- charlatan meditator who meditates only for the sake of making a living.
So such a beautiful analogy Prabhupada has given, right? A sincere sweeper is better. Somebody is showing, a meditation, and people think he's a great sadhu. And in India, we have, right? If somebody becomes a sadhu, they like to go and get their blessings, because we have the belief and faith that if sadhu is giving the blessings, then our life becomes good, right?
Yeah.
And many people, when everything fails in them, when their business fails, when their family fails, what they do, they are in the garb of a sannyasi, a saffron cloth. And if they have some knowledge or if they have something, then they act like a meditator. And then people, when they come for taking the blessings from you, what do? They also offer some dakshina. They just don't come and go, right? So it is a show bottle spiritualism. Just for the make of living, they appear like a sadhu, appear like a sannyasi, but they are dwelling in sense gratification. Rather, you be a sweeper, no matter, but be sincere. By being sincere, such a thing is much better. Means whatever position we are, be in that position and become Krishna conscious. Artificial renunciation is not recommended by Krishna here. Okay. Even though we may not be very advanced in Krishna consciousness, but we are trying, we are sincere, we are following few rounds, few things, but just being sincere and accepting that and going forward can help us. Whereas we are not doing anything, but externally, we say everybody, I chant so much, I am so Krishna conscious, all my life is dedicated to Krishna. You're just telling, but internally you're not so. Your mind is in so many things. When we are pretending like that, then, our advancement becomes checked. Then Krishna knows, such a person is just pretending, using my name so that he can gain some name and fame in the society, right? So we should be very careful and be in our situation and be sincere. So Gita lessons from this is sincerity is superior to show. Honest efforts is better than false renunciation. Mind control is essential. Real controls begins internally. Engage, don't escape. Perform your duties with devotion. So some people, just to escape from this world, they become the sannyasis. So don't do that. Whereas perform your duties with devotion. Bhakti is a practical path. It works regardless of social position. Anybody can become a devotee. Even a child can become a devotee, right? To chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, do we have to pay any taxes?
No.
Do we have to do anything? It's free. Anywhere we can chant in the platforms we can chant in the train, we can chant in the office, we can chant even while bathing. Chanting has no rules and regulation. Anytime, any place, anywhere we can do, and regardless of any social position, we can always perform bhakti. Bhakti has no uh, nothing to stop. It is only if we stop. That's what the highest dharma is given in Bhagavatam as Savai Pumsa Parodharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje. The highest dharma is satisfying the adokshaja, and how it should be ahaitukya apratihata. It should be uninterrupted and motivated. So bhakti is not performed because of some motivation. Okay, I chant 16 rounds. I got promotion in my office. I got increment. So is that the purpose of our chanting?
No.
That means it is a motivated chanting. So we do chanting. Our chanting is only to please Krishna, and to develop the relation with Krishna, not for any other purpose. Okay, so practical tips is perform your daily duties sincerely, control the mind by chanting and hearing. So Prabhupada said, whatever you chant, you hear. Whatever you hear, you chant. So the only gap is between the mouth and the ear. Only this thing. So just by focusing on chanting and hearing, our mind will automatically become controlled. So which we have seen over a period of chanting. Initial days when we are chanting, it was very difficult to control our mind. But now is it at least easy for us? At least the mind is permitting us to chant.
Yeah.
Earlier, the mind does not even permit us to chant. The mind says, do this, do that. You have so many chores to do. You have to do this. You have this responsibility. You have that responsibility. And the mind did not even allow you to sit for chanting. But now at least the mind is allowing you to chant. So the more we chant, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, the cleansing process will happen, and then our mind will automatically get into control. The classic example is Haridas Thakura. Even though he was tested twice, once by Maya herself, another by a prostitute. The king sent the prostitute to distract him. But did he get distracted? No. Rather, he made the prostitute a devotee because his mind was completely controlled by chanting and hearing. So stay detached from results. Don't be attached. We are endeavoring, we are working. Whatever we are doing, whether we get promotion, whether we get increment, we should not be too much worried about our results. We should be just thinking, okay, I have something to do, but my goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. We should not get frustrated. And don't imitate advanced stages. That's what Prabhupada said. Don't try to imitate Haridas Thakura. And Shiva also. They say some people, if you see Himalayas, they say that, Shiva smokes, Shiva has ganja. So they also imitate. We should not imitate the stage of Shiva. Shiva drank poison, but he could stop it. It's called Nilakanta. But if we take poison, Can we stop it
We
in
will
our
die.
panta? We will die. So we should not try to imitate the advanced stages. We should just try to follow. And follow, our GPS of our life should be Guru, Sadhu and
Sadhu,
Shastra.
Shastra.
So this is the
GPS.
GPS of our life. Guru, follow the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So this is our GPS of the life. By following the three things, we can advance in devotion and go back home, back to Godhead. Okay. Any questions or any realizations or anything? Hare
No,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Okay. So I have one more question. We plan for presentation, right, of the second chapter. So will it be possible to do the following week? Can we do it next week? Shweta Mataji, is it possible for you? Coming Sunday?
I'm not 100% sure
Okay.
because it's a long weekend, no? So I don't know if I'm here or traveling.
Okay.
Long
Okay.
weekend?
Yeah, I
It's a
think
long weekend.
Friday is a holiday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, my husband is coming. So I don't have a Friday holiday, but they both
Mm,
have. So I might
mm.
also take a holiday, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but I think wherever we are, we can do it. It shouldn't be a problem.
Yes, Mataji.
Unless I'm
Yeah,
in some
even I
remote
am not
area.
available. I am also going to my hometown. My sister's son is getting married. So I'm also not there for